Irrigation tailwater recirculation systems are designed to collect irrigation drainage water from the bottom end of a field, then pump it back to the top of the same or a different field for reuse. By recirculating drain water, you improve the overall efficiency of your irrigation system. This video describes how to operate and maintain a recirculation system once it is installed. The frequency of your maintenance activities depends on the erodibility of your soils, how you control erosion, the specific pumps and other mechanical equipment you installed in your tailwater recovery system, as well as other factors. Your irrigation design consultant should be able to give you a good estimate of how often you will need to perform the following maintenance procedures. An important consideration is use of polyacrylamide or PAM products at the head of a field where water is discharged into the furrows. This product can reduce field soil erosion and sediment deposits in tailwater ponds. More about PAM in a minute. Before the irrigation season begins, clean screens at return flow pump intakes of the sump. Also check pumps, pipelines, valves, and other mechanical components for proper operation. You should perform routine maintenance on all motors and engines per the manufacturer's specifications for the best performance. Check above ground pipeline connections and structures for leaks. Repair leaks immediately. It is important for you to prevent trash, crop residue, and other debris from entering tailwater ponds and conveyance ditches. If any debris makes its way into ponds and ditches, make sure it is removed as soon as possible. Before the irrigation season begins, it's also a good time to manage vegetation in the tailwater pond. And lastly, dredge or regrade ponds annually. If you use PAM, you may only need to perform this function every 5 to 10 years. Now let's talk a minute about PAM or polyacrylamide products. PAM applications effectively increase water infiltration, except in coarse soils, and reduce erosion and the volume of runoff, as well as reducing the sediment, nutrients, microorganisms, and hydrophobic pesticides in runoff. PAM is most effective for reducing sediment in runoff in medium to fine textured soils. The type of application method used and the rate of application is based on field conditions and system requirements. PAM is generally most effective used during the first irrigation or pre-irrigation and after any soil disturbance such as recontouring beds or furrows. Additional applications are necessary only if erosion is seen, as evidenced by sediment in the water at the tail end of furrows. If the water leaving the end of the furrow is clear, no erosion is occurring. If subsequent applications are found to be necessary, they are usually at a rate much lower than the initial application. The Natural Resource Conservation Service, or NRCS, recommends that the concentration of PAM in irrigation water be about 10 parts per million. This translates to a standard application rate of 1 to 2 kilograms per hectare, or a little less than 1 to 2 pounds per acre. Now, on to other system maintenance tips. Weed control in the pond is essential for maintaining holding capacity and reducing potential sources of debris on the screen at the pump intake. Another consideration when you have recirculation systems is irrigation scheduling and management. The key to irrigation management with your tailwater recovery system is to limit tailwater volumes and to anticipate which fields will receive the recovered water. Irrigation sets and scheduling can be adjusted based on the water level in the tailwater pond at the end of a set. These adjustments and the water level necessary for these adjustments are as follows. If the pond is too full, add rows to the next set with the same water supply. If the pond is half full or less, either reduce the number of rows in the next set with the same water supply or increase the furrow rates in the next set. For the protection of groundwater and wildlife, you should plan nutrient and pest management measures to limit chemical loads in tailwater that will be retained in the pond. Here are some of the annual and major maintenance procedures. A well-maintained tailwater recovery system has only a few procedures that must be performed annually or less frequently for maximum efficiency. First, empty the tailwater pond with the last irrigation set and apply all the tailwater to the field to minimize infiltration of water-soluble chemicals to shallow groundwater. Next, protect the pump and exposed components from potential storm damage in the off-season. And finally, dredge or regrade tailwater ponds prior to the irrigation season.